Looking at the spec document again, we want to make sure that you're reading it all. There's quite a bit to read here. Well, it's just one page really, but again, read it on your own. So it just says that you want to work with the site container, you want to work with the header, the feature, the main and or aside, and the footer using the grid for each of the viewports. And like I said, the structure of your home page and then the styling and positioning of the content is going to be worth 4 and 6. So let's continue on with the actual tablet view, and we'll do that. Now remember, when you're in XD and you have your Port Hope website, so maybe you're using, let's see, all right, Port Hope, and you have the 3 different viewports. Maybe now you're going to take a look and be like, okay, so this is how I want to rework my desktop for my tablet and my mobile, and use this as a guide. Now, if you want to change it up a little bit, you still can submit this, whatever you have for your Port Hope Fall Fair, whatever you've decided. And now that you're utilizing the grid, if you feel like you're going to change up the layout that you decided here a little bit for the actual index file, that's okay. As long as this looks clean and the index file looks clean, that's great. They don't have to match perfectly because you didn't know the grid when you were designing it. Now that you do, maybe you're going to make some slightly different choices, and you don't have to go back and redo the design to match it pixel perfectly if you don't want to, just FYI. So let's go ahead and continue on. And the easiest way is simply to grab everything in between the desktop media query and move it into the tablet. Don't grab the media query itself, obviously. And remember, there's an open curly brace and a closing curly brace for every media query that you do not want to, take with you. So starting from the closing footer curly brace all the way up, holding down Shift and clicking and highlighting that all, or simply just clicking your mouse and don't let go until you get to the very last, or go here, go to the top, whatever you're comfortable with. But you want to have the site all the way to the footer copied. So Command C or Edit Copy. If I go too fast, just pause it and catch up, and then locate the next media query. All right, which happens to be right here for tablet. There's the open and the closing tablet media query, right? And I'm going to place my cursor there and paste. And now I've duplicated every single thing I had for desktop for tablet, and I can add to it, remove it, customize it to make it suit my needs. So that's what I'm going to do right here. Looking at it, and I have the finished version already, so I'm going to kind of compare that. And this is what you want to change it to. So looking at it, I'm just going to make it 2 columns instead of 3. So I'll just go kind of take off the 340. I'm going to make this have 3 FR, and this is going to be 70 pixels. That's for the footer. So the footer row is going to be set to a finite amount. And I also think I made another change there. Okay, so 2 columns, 4 rows. Yes, and then of course you have this, because you took 1 column away there, this is an exact replica of your grid. So it's going to be 2 columns, 4 rows now. So I have to go and delete the keyword for the 3rd column here, or the named area. Okay, and then I also want to make sure I include my sidebar, right? So it's going to be header, header, featured, featured, main, and sidebar relatively equal, and then the footer and the footer at the bottom. So we're going to go and change this main and then sidebar over here. So it's like a left column, right column, but we're using authentic HTML5, main, and aside, which just happens to be called sidebar, which it doesn't have to. You could have just called this an aside. Totally optional. Okay, so we changed that up. That looks good. What else did I change? So if I'm at the header, notice I have 1 FR, 2 FR here for the header. So if I'm going down to the grid, I had 470 and 1 FR, and this is just me customizing it. So if I leave it like that, there's not going to be enough room for the navigation. So that's why I changed it to give it 1 FR, 2 FR basically makes 2/3 of the space for the navigation now, and only 1/3 for the actual logo. All right, because we're controlling the header here. So if I don't do that and I go and refresh it, okay, as soon as I enter into the mobile space, as soon as I hit that breakpoint, All right, there it is. Okay, you see how there's not enough room for my navigation because this is at 470. There's less real estate. So I'm going to play around with this and say, you know what, 1FR, 1 fraction, 2 fraction over here. And it breaks it up basically to 33% and like 66%. And that allows room so that this can breathe a little bit. And there it is. Okay, so that looks pretty good. And I don't think I need to change anything else, truthfully. You know, I think everything else kind of stays the way that I have it. And now you just kind of optimized for another viewport. Simple as that. Everything still works. This is an optional light box. A little bit of change, not too much. And then for the final one, I might as well just do it all with you guys already. So do the same thing. Copy this. Go to the footer. Command C. We're copying everything in tablet. Pause it if you need to. We're going to place it inside of our mobile, open and closing curly, paste it. And same thing. Now we're going to play around with it to edit it based on mobile. So we have less real estate again. So let's see what I did up here. One column makes sense. And we added a row because we're squeezing it, right? There's no room for things to go side by side anymore. So we're removing a column, less real estate, having to force it more down vertically. So we had to add a row and remove a column. So this is basically what I have. All right, going up there, replacing this. And because I only have one column and now I have 5 rows, the same thing. Everything's just going to be designated on its own row. So header's going to be there. Feature's going to be over here. Remember, the mobile is as such that you have less real estate. All right, then you have main. Then I'll move sidebar to this one, and then I'll keep footer at the bottom. Whoops. Could have done that cleaner. And I believe that's how I had it. Header featured main, yes. So that looks good. And then I changed my header over here too. So you'll notice that I have it where it's 1 column, 2 columns, 1 row, because it's side by side, right? Well, now I want to change it to 1 column and 2 rows, right? Because it's going to be one on top of the other. So 1 column on top for the logo, 1 column on the bottom, the second row. So the first row, 1 column is the logo. Second row, 1 column is the navigation. So again, looking at it here, that's what we do. And again, we put these on their own line because every single quote, end quote, open quote represents a different row. So then we go logo, nav, like that, 1 column, 2 rows. And let's just see what else I've done. I think I might have added a few more things, but maybe not. Okay, so save that. And let's just see what's happening here. So I'm going to refresh and I'm going to go down. There it is. Now look at the nav. It's not really centered. These are just little things. This isn't, now I can use my regular techniques to center it. I could use Flexbox. Remember, Flexbox allows you to center vertically things. So you can certainly bring in and go display Flexbox to the navigation and then make this a flex item and center it vertically. Or you can use kind of the old way, which is basically going to the header. And I think it's here. Go margin. And then remember, you can go 0 on the top, auto on the right, 0 on the bottom, auto on the left. And it will center it like that. And now it'll increase and decrease automatically while keeping it in the middle. All right, so that is the margin. And yeah, all right. I also think I forgot the grid gap here. Did I just delete that? Oh no, the grid gap's over here. Sorry. So yeah, we're good. And that's it. You've now optimized for 3 different viewports. It looks good. I keep in mind, I could have rearranged this too if I wanted. Maybe I wanted to resize some of these guys. Maybe I wanted to cut some of these guys out. Any of that's optional and make it work for you. I don't have a hamburger menu. I'd still encourage you to do one, but I showed you how to do that technique. So it's no different for the grid. And that is my sample site. So I hope that helped, and I'll try to give you a few more resources as well. And then I will do a full set for part 3 also. But if you could work on using the grid to your current knowledge to start converting the main structure of your own Port Hope website in desktop, tablet, mobile, you're going to be in really good shape for our Monday class or Tuesday class or Thursday class coming up. So I'll send more information about that, and we'll talk soon.